Yes boys, welcome back to the channel, it's Erdtree. Hope you're all having an awesome day, and I've only gone and made a burr build. Look at me, I'm so cute and cuddly. Does anyone want to cuddle? Maybe not. I'm not the most friendliest burr you've ever seen, but I've had a hell of a lot of fun making this video. I've got some great invasions to show you. But let's take a look at the build in a little bit more detail. I'm using the red burr's claws on this one, and then I've also got a misery card that's equipped with endure, which is going to help me land my incantations. I'm then also using the pelt of Rather, which is going to increase the damage of my raw incantation, and I'm also using some really heavy armour. This build was going to be tough enough to make work, so I wanted to give myself the best chance with some high defences. I'm using the raw talisman, the bull goats for some more poise, and the shard of Alexander, and then in my flask I'm using the opaline hard tier and the green burst crystal tier. This is definitely a hard build to make work, it's hard to get success with. I do take a few losses in this video, but I do manage to get quite a few wins as well. But every single invasion is a really good invasion, it's a really good fight, and it's been a hell of a lot of fun to try out. You can see I'm using the roar of Regalia, or Regalia, or however the hell you say it. It's not the best incantation, but I do my best to make it work on this build. And it's just a lot of fun. These invasions are great. I hope you have a good time watching them. I had a really good time making this one. We're in for our first invasion with the big cuddly burr build. I went to build a burr, and this is what I came out with. An absolutely chunky boy burr. Look at the state of him. There was some better armour choices I could have used on this build in terms of visually looking like a burr, you know. There's some armour that's got some fur effect on it that would have matched the helmet that I'm using. Would have also matched the claw weapons. But, you know, this build is hard enough. It was always going to be difficult to make work against some of the crazy weapons that we're facing in the DLC, so I was never going to put myself at more of a disadvantage using some lighter armour with lower defences and less poise. It was always my idea to make this build and make it as tanky as possible. I still think it looks quite good. It looks like, you know, a burr's raided an army shop and just come out in this absolute monstrosity of stone armour, but I actually think it works quite well visually. I'm quite happy with it. And like I say, you know, it's a kind of build where I've got to get in really close. I've got to put myself in danger to make anything work. So I needed those defences. I needed that high resistance. I needed that poise. And this is what I came up with. Big chunky boy, stone armour wearing burr. And it's really good, guys. You know, I've mentioned it a couple of times, but it's a hard build to make work. I do take a few losses in this video, but even the losses that you'll see, I hope it comes through how much fun the invasions actually were. We do lose, but it's always a good fight. It's always a really fun invasion. And, you know, I never took a loss in this video with this build and thought, I was like properly devastated, you know. I never took a loss and was upset. I never took a loss and raged about it. Even the losses were a hell of a lot of fun. And on the invasions where I win, there are a few wins as well. Just keep your eyes out for the wins, because the wins are super sweet. The wins on this build feel absolutely amazing. Like I say, it's the type of build where you've got to get in close, do a lot of brawling. And in those types of fights, when you manage to pull a win out of the bag, it just feels the best. It's a really fun build. These weapons are really good at keeping the pressure up. The burr claws, you can see they're doing bleed build up. They're really good at keeping the pressure on. They're good at closing the distance, because you kind of leap forward, as you can see there. Look at the distance we're covering on those forward attacks. One thing I have actually noticed with these, as good as the forward momentum is with these attacks, they don't seem to be the best at roll catching. Like, you'll see a few times in this video, I'm chasing people down, I'm trying to finish them off when they're at really low health. And as much forward momentum as we get in those running attacks, those lunging forward heavy attacks, like I say, you know, a lot of people manage to roll out the way of them with relative ease. I was quite surprised at how much I struggled to catch some people in the roll catches with these. But generally, these are really fun claw weapons. You can put a hell of a lot of pressure on and keep the pressure on. But yeah, just slightly disappointed in the roll catches. Like, it looks like they should be really good, but I don't know, maybe it was just me being a bad player. Maybe that's the case, but yeah, I did struggle in that department a little bit. One thing about these burr claws that I really do like is the Ash of War. I'll point it out when I see it in an upcoming invasion, but there's actually a kind of staggered aftershock effect on the Ash of War. You do these big swipes and it has this wind effect on it, and if it hits them, there's kind of an aftershock where they take a ripple of damage after it. You can kind of see it there, you kind of hit them with it, and then there's a ripple effect of damage that follows after. And it's just a really satisfying Ash of War, and it does some decent damage. As you can see in this invasion there, we just managed to take out the summon. Now I've got to take out this host with this ridiculous mask on. I know this mask is giving you some good stats to your strength and your dex and all that, but don't wear that mask, it looks absolutely hideous, and you look like an absolute clown wearing it. So yeah, you deserve that death just for wearing a hideous mask. This was a really fun invasion. This spot, these little, this rooftop area here, you've got the bird support, you've got some good PvE support, and these roofs are really fun for invasions, man. These roofs are really good, really good. I like these kind of multi-leveled areas where you can go up and down and there's differences in elevation, and then you can back off to the stairs. It's a really fun spot to invade. This is a really good invasion. This is a proper good brawl. I managed to take out the summon nice and early there, but there's still another one knocking about as well as the host. And watch this, I go down to such low health here, but I'm just managed to back off and escape up this roof, and I live to fight another day. So I've killed one summon, and I think these guys actually get a blue in a minute, so it's back to a 3-on-1 very shortly. And it definitely turns into a bit of a war of attrition, this one. It's quite a long invasion. I've edited it down, but it was quite a long invasion. Yeah, really good scrap. Absolutely love this type of invasion, really good stuff. I'm using the Beast Claws on this build as one of my 2 main incantations. I just thought that suited being a burr build. Obviously, you know, Beast Claws being a burr, it just kind of works really well. And you've obviously noticed the big boy in the room, the Roar of Regalia. Regalia, I'm pretty sure it's Regalia, that's how I'm going to say it from now on. If I'm wrong, I don't care, because it shouldn't have such a weird spelling. The Roar of Regalia. Yeah, it's a weird one, guys. It doesn't do the most damage. It's a bit of a it's a bit of a trash tier incantation, honestly. It's not the best. It doesn't do the most damage. You've kind of got to charge it to do any damage. The kind of initial roar of it just does a big stagger, and it kind of starts to stack the damage, but then you've got to charge the roar and follow through with the second part of the roar to actually land any damage with it. It's a very strange incantation, but I wanted to give it a go on the build. I wanted to try and make it work, which is why I've got the Misery Cord equipped with Endure, because I want to use the Misery Cord, Endure, and then kind of get the roar off at close range. And I do manage to land it quite a lot. You will see the effect of the initial blast of the roar. It does a stun. It's a big stun effect, and then like I say, you've got to keep the charge going, follow through with the big second part of the roar, and that's where the damage seems to come from. It's never a hell of a lot of damage, it's never big numbers, but you know, it's fun. It's a fun spell to use, and being a burr, you know, I had to use it on the build, didn't I? I couldn't be a burr and not use it. In terms of the damage, I think there are some things that I could do to improve the overall damage of it. I'm definitely not optimised to get the most out of the damage on the roar. I think it is actually classed as a bestial incantation, so I think using the bestial seal, I can't remember what it's called, the stone seal, is it? The one that increases the damage of the bestial incantations. I think if I was using that, that would probably give it a bit more damage. In fact, it would give it a bit more damage for a fact. And then also using the Phlox Canvas Talisman could probably increase the damage of it. And then also as well, the Highland Axe would increase the damage of it, being a roar. So, you know, there are a few other things that I could do to get some more damage out of that spell. But even then, you know, I'd be interested to see how much damage it actually does. It doesn't seem like the most impactful incantation, but it's a hell of a lot of fun to use. And I do get some good use out of it in the invasions. And it's just fun. It's just a fun incantation. It's just silly, isn't it? It's just a big burr head. A big burr head doing a big roar. And yeah, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. You've got to just give it a go and see what you can do. I would be interested to try and add the extra buffs onto this build though, and see what kind of damage it does when it's fully optimised. Now this was an interesting invasion. These two players got a blue in, and they was absolutely terrified to come anywhere near me when I had any kind of slight PvE support around me. They're just absolute cowards. They just wouldn't come anywhere near me. The blue actually shows up at the top there on the ledge, and he's terrified to come down. It's absolutely hilarious. I zoom in on him in a minute and you can see he starts applying about 12,000 buffs before he even comes anywhere near me. He's up on the ledge just before he jumps down. He's up on the ledge there on the top right. You can see him now, getting himself ready for battle. I've lost count of the buffs now. I think we're on 2 or 3. Another one there. He's being very cautious. I don't know what he's trying to do with that mesmer orb, but he plucks up the courage, he gets the bravery, he finds the bravery from somewhere, and he finally comes down. Now, this video was recorded pre-patch, guys. There's just been a patch which has nerfed a lot of the broken weapons. It's nerfed like Swift Slash, it's nerfed the perfume bottles, and I think it actually also nerfed this fire knight sword that this blue's using. So just bear that in mind, guys. This was pre-patch, so that stagger effect that it did, the 2-hit combo on me there, I don't know if that's still a thing. I don't know if that still works, but yeah, this was recorded like the day before the patch. But anyway, I took out that blue there, and then I had to reposition using the bloody finger, and these two had actually backed off back into the level, which is fine. They obviously still had some things to do before they wanted to go down to the boss room. So I repositioned and I went and found them, and now we're carrying on with our initial brawl. I killed the blue, and now it's down to me and these two again, like it should have been all along. I've only got 1 flask left. These two have got a good bit of kit that they're using against me. They're going to be doing a lot of damage, so I've got to be careful here. You can see I've used my flask now. I've no heals left. I'm down low. My health is very small. I don't have much health left. So I'm kind of in the last chance saloon. I go in for a heavy attack, get the horse low, and then I get a real bit of luck here. The horse just makes a little mistake, wanders in front of me. Now I'm going to hold my hands up. That was absolute luck that I got that backstab. I didn't play for that. I was just doing attacks, and the horse just kind of wandered in front of me, and he took the backstab. Unlucky horse, but that would have been a great invasion regardless. We had a really good fight, and I'm just glad for killing that blue. It was just fun. Any chance I get to kill a blue, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it, and I'm going to teabag your corpse, because I just hate blues. I just absolutely despise blues, and I'm a big angry bear, and big angry bears don't like blue people. Do you know what I mean? Like, bears are like bulls, aren't they? You know how bulls don't like the colour red and they charge? Well, bears don't like the colour blue, and I'm going to charge at you if you're a blue, and I'm going to kill you, and I'm going to teabag all over you with my big hairy sweaty balls, and you're going to taste them and you're going to like them. That's how it's going to be. Look at this, I've got this summon down to 1 shot. I just can't finish him off. His friend there saves his life, and I've got to back up. This invasion was another long one. This one went on for quite a while. It was a proper good war against these 3. This blue here is using that new faith scaling hammer. I can't remember what it's called, but it looks absolutely awesome. Look at it, it looks fantastic. The Ash of War on it is really cool as well. The big spinneroonie slam down Ash of War. Yeah, I really want to try that weapon at some point. But you can see these 3 are using some difficult kit to deal with. He's got the Mesmer Spear. The Summoner's got the Mesmer Spear flying around all over the place. This blue is doing some big damage. But I've got him low. Again, look at the running attacks. I'm trying to roll catch him. This is what I was talking about earlier. As good as the forward momentum is on these attacks, it seems difficult to roll catch. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's a timing thing. I was doing my best. I don't know if it's just me mistiming my attacks, but that happens and has happened quite a few times in these invasions. I get them to 1 shot, and as good as the running attacks are, they just seem to struggle roll catching. It's very strange. It's very strange, but the Ash of War finishes the blue off. Absolutely love the Ash of War. The red bear hunt, absolutely love it on these claws. I think it's such a good Ash of War. Really, really cool. I love the aftershock effect. Really cool stuff. But look at how quickly these two killed that knight then. I mean, these two are doing some big damage, so this is a tricky invasion. That is a difficult enemy to deal with. I remember on my playthrough, he took me absolutely ages. He's a tough enemy, and those two absolutely shredded him, so I've really got to be on my toes with these two. They're both obviously putting out some big damage, and this goes back to why I'm wearing such heavy armour with this build. We take a loss on that invasion, but it's absolutely fine. Again, it was really fun. Proper war of an invasion. Like I said earlier, I don't mind losing these invasions at all with this build. It's just fun getting in there and scrapping. But yeah, I was saying, it goes back to why I'm wearing such heavy armour on this build. I've got to get in close, I've got to put myself in danger, I've got to scrap, and I'm going to take hits. I'm going to take a lot of damage. So, you know, I just couldn't justify wearing something for the fashion in terms of looking more like a bear, when it just would make the invasions too painful. It would make the invasions too difficult when they're already difficult. You know what I mean? I needed something that just gives me a chance. And like I say, I love the armour anyway. I really like this fashion. And this build actually surprised me. I thought I was going to make it initially, and I thought it was just going to turn into a bit of a meme video where every single invasion was just a loss and I was getting beasted and battered around all over the place. I thought I was just going to be getting thrown about for fun. But it actually surprised me how effective it actually is. And I think the armour choices really do help with that. But overall, you know, like I say, I was very, very pleasantly surprised. And this is a build that I will definitely go back to in the future. It's a lot of fun. I will try and boost damage of the Roar of Regalia again. Moving forward on this build, I'll probably get a better seal. I'll get the stone seal. I'll try and get the Canvas Flock's talisman. And I'll try and see what damage I can get out of the Roar. But overall, I think it will only improve the build tenfold because, yeah, like I say, you know, it's been a lot of fun using it and a big surprise as to how effective it has actually been. Definitely recommended if you've not thought about trying to be a bear. Join the club, come down to the woods. Come down to the woods and have a run around with me and just act like a bear for a bit. It's a lot of fun. Ah, that was my bear call. That was my bear scream. If you hear that in the woods, you know it's Erdtree. Come down and say hello. I'm friendly. I won't attack you. I'm a friendly bear most of the time. Just don't show me your blue. Don't show me your blue colour and I won't get angry. You know what I mean? I'll come and give you a nice little big cuddle. I'm a big guy. I'm a big furry guy. And I've got a lot of love to give. So come down and say hello. Give me a roar of your own. What am I talking about? I've gone on a bit of a tangent here, haven't I? Oh well. This is what you get, guys, for being in the mind of a bear for too long. You start to think like a bear, and then you start to act like a bear, and then you start to eat and breathe like a bear, and it just goes from there. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing, really. It's a beautiful thing. So just a little word on my own playthrough, guys, on the DLC. I've actually finished it now. I've finished my first playthrough with my very first build that I ever made. That's the build that I've been doing these invasions with, that you've been seeing on my channel. I've had an absolute blast. It's been amazing. The final boss is absolute rubbish, a load of nonsense. What an absolute joke. But I just decided to cheese him, basically. I just upgraded a shield and I got a Godskin peeler and blood infused it. And I just cheesed the hell out of him, and I don't care, and I'm not ashamed to say it, because that last boss is just an absolute joke. And I weren't prepared to sit there for 3 days trying to kill him when I had invasions to be doing. I just did not want to do it. I just cheesed the hell out of him, and I don't care. But besides the final boss, I think the DLC has been an absolute joy. What an absolutely amazing experience it's been playing through this DLC. I've had so much fun, and I can't wait to get in there with the next build. I actually got the next build ready last night to take on the DLC, and I can't wait to start showing you what my plans are with the next build. I've got a lot of plans in mind for it. I'm not going to give away which build it is right now. I'm going to save that for some upcoming videos. But my future plans are now moving forward. I've got a few more invasions to show you, a few more invasion videos from this build with a couple of different things I've been doing. And then I'm going to start playing through with my next DLC build and invading with that one as I go along as well. So keep your eyes out, guys. There's going to be a fresh build coming with new toys and some new things going on with it. and I'm really excited just to play through the DLC again with a different build, because it is that good. But this is the last invasion of the video, guys. I hope you've had an absolutely awesome time watching this one. Like I say, I take a few losses in this video, but it's been so much fun to make. That's it for now. Look after yourselves, guys. Look after each other. Enjoy the rest of your day, whatever you're doing. Take it easy, and I'll see you all in the next video.